Hey guys, what's up? My name is Nicole Whitley. Welcome back to my channel. And if you are new, welcome to my channel. Today is the day that I'm posting the third episode of my podcast. Yay! Anyway, it's actually kind of exciting because I think that I named the podcast. We'll see how it goes. I named it The Schwit Show because it sounds like The Shit Show, but it incorporates my last name, Whitley, shortened for wit. Shit and wit is Schwit. Yeah, it's kind of basic, but I'm basic. There's nothing wrong with it. Fuck it. Whatever. I hope you guys enjoy. This is going to be an episode about Sofyann. She is a small Twitch streamer who is also only 15. She's super inspiring me. She motivated me to start streaming. And it's going to be a day in the life of a 15-year-old Twitch streamer. How awesome is she? So fucking cool. So cool. Anyway, enjoy The Schwit Show. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the third episode of my podcast on a Twitch series where I am bringing on Twitch streamers to talk about their journey and how they inspired me to start streaming and just the ins and the outs of Twitch, the good, the bad, and everything in between. Also, the whole point of this podcast series is to get to know the Twitch streamer on a deeper level. So that's what we're going to do today. I have a very special guest, someone who not only inspired me to start streaming, but has inspired me to actually want to get better at the game that I play mostly, which is Fortnite. She's an amazing Fortnite player, and I'll let her introduce herself before I go too far into it. But my guest is Sofyann. She streams on Twitch. And so, Sofy, I would love for you to introduce yourself before I go any further.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Sofy. I'm 15 years old, about to turn 16 in 20 days, which is crazy to me. I'm from Puerto Rico, now live in Florida. And yeah, that's about it.
And if you guys don't know, well, you guys don't know, but we were just recording for like 10 minutes, realized that I never pressed the record button. So I did just find out that Sofy moved from Puerto Rico, which I didn't know that you were born in Puerto Rico. So I guess this is a question that I didn't actually ask you in the mess up part, but do you remember like your first time in the States? Like, do you remember right when you got here, like transitioning to a new school? Do you remember any of that?
Yes, I actually didn't speak any English at first. I just knew like little bits and pieces, but whenever I first started school, I had to pretty much like learn a whole new language. I had to make new friends, all that different stuff. And yeah, it was pretty hard, but I made it.
You did.
We're
You
good.
did. I guess I'm kind of curious about because I know a lot of my friends know that I like one thing in my life is like I would love to be bilingual, both like English and Spanish. I know a lot of my friends play soccer and they play professional and they go overseas, and that's pretty much how you learn how to speak the language. I went through high school taking Spanish class every year. I was in AP Spanish, but still never felt that I was like fluent enough. I know I'm not fluent, obviously. So like one of my dreams is to go play professional soccer overseas in like Spain or anywhere like that speaks Spanish and learn the language. So that's kind of like admirable. I've always wanted. I have like this weird thing that I always wanted to be bilingual, but not there yet. Maybe. I did go to Spain once, and we went to a couple places, but mostly Madrid and Barcelona. And I was able to speak a little bit in Madrid, like talk to the locals, which I was proud of myself. But when you went to school when you were young, I guess, did you go into first grade when? I think that's like 6 years old, right?
Yeah, I think first grade, yeah. I think I remember my teacher's name. I think it was like Miss Pollen or something like that. And yeah, I had like this other teacher that she sat with me and she taught me how to speak English at home. I would use these flashcards to try to learn different things. I had like pictures of a dog and I literally didn't know how to even say that.
It's crazy.
And yeah, it's like the simplest things were the hardest.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you if you had like a special class. 'Cause I know when I was growing up, we had if somebody came from anywhere other than America, we would have them go into class and learn how to speak English, and it was a part of their every single. Like I think it took out one of like the electives instead of taking like a cooking class when you got into high school. Like they would take English, like an extra English class to actually learn how to speak the language. So that's really interesting because that's like one of my goals in life is to learn how to speak Spanish. So I'm very. Do you ever stream in Spanish, by the way?
No, I don't stream in Spanish.
That would be that might be cool if you could stream in
Yeah.
Spanish. I wonder like if you went live one day and just did like the tag as Spanish. I wonder like what would happen. That would be so funny.
Yeah.
But before we get into like the deep into your Twitch channel specifically, I just want to know, because if you guys don't know, I mean, she said it. She's 15 turning 16, and she already has, what do you have now? 1.3K on Twitch,
Yeah,
which
almost 1.4K.
is insane. Yeah, almost 1.4 for being someone so young and so good at the game already. I was actually playing Fortnite the other day, and I was like, "Oh my god! If I played like when I was younger, I'd be so good." I'm terrible at Fortnite, by the way, guys.
You're not
So
terrible.
listen, you don't have to. You don't have to say that. But I want to talk about what your day to day looked like before COVID, which I didn't ask you in the one where we weren't recording.
Okay, so before COVID, I would get up, I think, at like 5 in the morning and start getting ready for school. I took the bus, so I had to be at the bus stop by like I think like 6:15, and it would take like 10 minutes to get to school. Then I would just spend the whole day, ride the bus back home, do my homework, and like oftentimes I would like fall asleep after school. It was just so tiring to have
Mm-hmm.
to do that every single day. And after that, after my naps, I would just get up, get ready, and stream. And that like used to make my day all the time. It was like my little escape from having all that work to be done for school. And yeah,
And when did you start streaming?
I started streaming February 7th of, I think, 2019.
And what? So you were in what grade was that?
I was 13 at the time, so I think 7th grade.
That's crazy. That's
Hmm.
crazy. That's awesome though. I just remember like when I was 15 turning 16, I remember like my sweet 16, and it feels like so long ago. But to see you already be so successful at that age, just like you have all the time in the world, which I know you'll be successful. If you guys don't know, Sofy does mainly play Fortnite. So I want you to just talk to me a little bit about the beginning of your Twitch journey. What made you make your Twitch account? What made you go live for the first time, and what made you play Fortnite? So all those things, if you remember, like the beginning days of the start of this journey.
Okay, so I actually made my Twitch account to watch Maddie and F. And then she kind of inspired me to start my own streams. And on my first stream, I played Fortnite, I think. And I started playing Fortnite because one summer my cousin brought his PS4 for like the entire time. And so he introduced me to Fortnite. I used to think it was a lame game and I like didn't know anything about it. So he introduced me to Fortnite. I played my first game. I didn't know how to build, shoot, or anything, and it was just
Mm-hmm.
so interesting to me because I'd never seen a game like that. I used to only play like Wii and like
Same.
Minecraft and all that stuff, and then I just got introduced to this like crazy game that has building, it has like, all this different stuff, and yeah, that's what got me into it.
And I remember, do you know what season that you started playing Fortnite in?
I started playing like late season 4
Okay.
of chapter 1. Mhm.
And was that still the time where like nobody built yet, like to as what it's compared to now?
I think they built a little bit, but not as much as now,
I feel like
definitely.
now it's if you can't build,
Yeah.
it's like a huge component of the game. It's like one of the,
Mhm.
if not the main thing. So that's really cool. I didn't know that you started playing like all the way in seventh grade. Like that's crazy, and then decided to go live. So were you thinking about like watching Maddie? If you guys don't know, Maddie NF is a streamer. I mentioned her in the past two podcasts because my past two guests were also inspired by her to start streaming. I guess she's like the face for us for us women to start gaming and go live on Twitch, which is it's an amazing way that you love to game, and if you can make a little bit of money off of it, it might not be a career. It's just a passion of ours, and it's pretty cool how you were inspired by her, and same of me and Rosie and Carly, who were my previous two guests on the podcast. So it's really awesome to see how early you started, because you almost have like a step up on your own journey in a sense where you got for example, I'm thinking about myself that I wish I started playing video games earlier, and I wish I streamed on Twitch earlier. But obviously I started playing video games only about a year ago, and then only played on mouse and keyboard up in like I think 3 months ago, and that's when I started streaming. So I was trying to watch people who played on keyboard and mouse to try to get used to it, because all my brothers said if you want to get better, You try not to play on controller. Try to get used to keyboard and mouse. You'll have like a lot more room for improvement. So I remember I like found Maddie, I found Rosie, I found Carly. Somebody was hosting Queen Sammy, and then she was hosting you one day when I went to her channel, and that's how I found you. And I didn't even know what hosting was, so I was like, "Is this Sammy playing Fortnite?" And then I realized it wasn't for like really quickly, and so I clicked on your channel because it said like FNCS, and I was like, "What the fuck is FNCS? Like, what is this?" And I started watching you, and you were literally cracked out of your mind, and I couldn't stop watching. I think I watched your whole stream from when I got there, and it was like about probably like 2 or 3 hours. I was watching you nonstop. Like, didn't even open another tab, was just watching because I remember I was trying to get used to mouse and keyboard. And so give me a little bit of background about the most competitively you play, because I still don't know too much about FNCS, and I wanted this podcast, I wanted to learn about it more. So you could just go into a little bit about, I guess, what you were working towards for FNCS, what it is, and what you're working towards now competitively wise in Fortnite.
Okay, so FNCS is probably like one of the biggest tournaments in game. There's a lot of qualifiers that lead up to the finals, and that can probably qualify you into the World Cup, I think, where I think Booga won like $2 million, right?
I think it was
And
like 3.
yeah,
But what does
and
FNCS stand for again?
I don't even know what it stands for.
Fine, me neither. If somebody does, comment down below. We'll keep going. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
It's okay. But yeah, it's like this competitive game mode, I guess. And you have 6 matches to qualify for the semifinals and so on to the finals. And yeah, it's definitely like the biggest tournament to look forward to. I literally work for like the entire season just for FNCS, and they change up the modes, I think, every single time that there's
Okay,
a new one.
and so if somebody were like me, had no idea, but felt that as though I was good enough, or I wanted to work towards getting, do you get invited, or is it just statistic wise that you get qualified, you're able to enter the game mode? How do you get into that?
Okay, so if you go into the game, there's a game mode called Arena. And so in Arena, you have to hit 6,000 points or Champs League to be able to play in FNCS.
Okay. See, had no idea. So yeah, it's like you could play public matches in Fortnite where you're just playing with people who maybe don't want to go competitive. But if you want to take your game up to the next level, or if you just want to, play arena for fun, you can earn points, and then you can also lose points, right? At some points in arena, and every
Yes.
time you get a certain amount of points, and Sophie can touch on this, you go up in a division, and if you hit champs, then you can enter playing in FNCS. So, how many? You said there were 6 and then champs, or is the 6 division champs?
The 6,000 points is Champs Division.
Okay, so 6,000 points,
Mhm.
and then how many points are in each division?
It just gradually increases as you go up.
Okay, so like Division 1 is like like smaller amount before you get to Division 2, and then you have to get more and more points. And
Yep.
then is there a certain point where you start losing points, which is like the nerve-wracking part of arena?
Yeah, I think once you get into Division 3, I think you start losing like 10 points every time
Okay.
you go on the battle bus. Then after that, you lose 20, 40, and once you get into champs, you start losing 60 points every single time you go on the bus.
Shoosh. Okay. So say FNCS was starting like tomorrow, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm qualified, but I'm on the cusp. And I go in a game and I lose points, I do really bad, then I don't qualify the next day, even though I was in it the whole year or the
Um,
season.
well, if you lose points and you go, wait, no, once you hit champs, you're already able to play.
Okay. Then you don't
Yeah.
lose any more points before you get in there. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. Cool. So, when do you know now when FNCS will be? Like, is it announced yet, or do you have no idea?
I think FNCS is in February. They announce it at the beginning of each season.
Okay. Nice. Okay. So, I want to go a little bit deeper into your Twitch journey, other than the gameplay part. Obviously you're amazing at Fortnite. I literally watch you to get inspired, and I ask you questions. I'm like, how do you do that, Bill? How do you do this? Then I could take it to my own gameplay. But I want to know. I guess I want to talk about the ups and the downs, because I know there's not always peaks, and there's not always valleys in every single day is different. I want to know, when was a point on Twitch where you were like, okay, like I can do this thing. I can actually, stream to people and they will come back and watch me and maybe I can make some money. Like this is actually something that I can do.
Okay, I think it was in the beginning whenever my friends started showing up in my stream. I noticed people joining in and saying hello, like even with only 2 viewers, like it meant so much to me. And it just kind of went up from there, and it just made me more excited to keep on streaming because I wanted to see that growth. I wanted to meet new people. I wanted to, become a streamer. So it just made me want to keep going.
So very early, which is
Hmm.
super cool. Was there ever a moment that you maybe it doesn't have to do anything with Twitch, maybe it has, I feel like it might have to do more with your gameplay, where you maybe doubted yourself, maybe didn't qualify for something, didn't do as well in something that you wanted to, where you really were at the lowest, where you're like, I don't know if I, want to do this. Did you even have a moment like that?
Yes. I think with everything that anybody does, they're always gonna have those moments where there is a little bit of doubt. For me personally, it wasn't really the game, it was just my stream. Like, obviously, every single day, it's not gonna be the same. You might not have the same amount of viewers, but it just really gets in your head whenever
Mm-hmm.
you start looking at that viewer count or anything to do with your stream. And that just kind of ruined my mindset for a little bit, but I was able to pick myself up and I realized, you know, it's not gonna be the same. It's gonna change. It's gonna get better. And you just have to look at it in a positive mindset and just realize that people are doing other things other than watching Twitch all day?
Mm-hmm. And I think that that is something that I learned very quickly. Even though I've only been streaming for 2 months, if I was streaming for 2 years, I think everybody could feel the same way, because when you are the streamer, you put everything on yourself. So if people aren't showing up one day, you're like, okay, it's me. Even though this person has to go walk their dog, this person has to go eat dinner. Like I feel like in the beginning I would always put it on myself, when it was the difference between either like having 2 viewers for me or having like six. And I was like, oh my God, when 6 people came in, I literally was like, what am I doing different? I need to keep doing this. And then within the next minute, it would go back down to two. And I was like, and then I look back now and it was so like recent that I was like, why does, I learned to turn the viewer count off. I was doing a podcast with Rosie and I asked her, which I'll ask you this question later, about like advice to a Twitch streamer. But my main thing was just like, turn the viewer count off. Who cares? Just keep talking. And I think one of like my like proud moments of myself was actually happened last night. I told you we were supposed to film this yesterday, but I ended up going to visit a friend. And he always is in my streams, whether he's lurking or not, and he plays video games with me and my boyfriend. And one of his cousins who we used to play Among Us with was like, who are you watching on Twitch? And he was like, oh, this is like Nicole. Like, this is like my best friend Kevin's girlfriend. And he was like, wait, the one that we played Among Us? And he was like, yeah. And he was like, listen, she talks a lot, but it's like a good thing. And so I always like thought like maybe on my Twitch stream I talk too much, I talk too fast. I know I'm probably talking way too fast in this podcast, but it's just like something that I do. I'm working on it. But I was like, holy, like maybe that's what helped me grow a little bit in the beginning. Was I was turning the viewer count off and was talking as if people were in there. When I saw that there was maybe 1 or 2 people in there and that one person was my boyfriend, then I would stop talking. And if anybody were to come in my stream, they probably clicked right off, because you could see it right through my face that I was like, fuck, what am I doing wrong?
Mm-hmm.
So I think for you, I think I had the same thing. And I know we'll all go through this in the future. One day we might get hosted by someone big. I mean, we dream or get rated, and you go from having like maybe a couple hundred people in there back down to the normal number. That's just Twitch. Twitch has no algorithm besides viewers. So I want to go into, let me see. I guess, yeah, let's talk about your goals now, to pick it up on a little bit of a more positive note. I want to know, and it's the start of a new year, so this is a perfect time to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have to be numbers wise. It could just be anything that you've maybe set a goal for yourself for this year, whether it's in on Twitch or just in life. Like, what goals do you have so far to start the new year?
Okay. My goal for this new year was to hit partner on Twitch. And I'm pretty confident that we can do it. I'm having a good mindset for this year because there's a whole like world of possibility of what can happen, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that is my main goal. Also, I just want to continue to make people happy whenever they join the stream and like help everybody have a good time because I know that not everybody is in the same situation, not everybody is having a good day all the time. So my ultimate goal is just to help people end their day on a more positive note instead of maybe going to bed and being upset and then waking up the next day with, a negative mindset.
Yeah, and I'm sure that if that's one of your goals, like one of the best compliments is like if somebody comes into your stream and is like, Sofy, like you're really like you helped my day. And even if they don't say that, I know that if you guys don't know, her Sofy's community is one of I was checking my analytics the other day, and you're like I think first or second in viewers, because if you guys don't know, Sofy helped me in the beginning with so many raids to my channel, which I'm so grateful for. And a lot of her community is so supportive that they were like, whoever Sofy like is going to support, we're gonna follow, and we're gonna do what she helps us do, which she supports us. You guys rated up my channel, and some of those viewers are still in there all the time, and it's just like amazing to see like how communities that are so supportive like that can relay the same type of vibes to somebody else. So I'm super grateful that you did that for me, and I could say that if that's already one of your goals, I know that you've already done that, and I hope that it continues to grow in the same way, which I know it will, which is super positive and super supportive. So I'm so grateful for that. So getting a little bit more personal, tell me about your family. Do you have siblings? Tell me about your parents, just what goes on in your house.
Okay, I have two little siblings. I have one brother and one sister, and I have mom and dad. um, and yeah, I don't know. My
Do
like the rest of my family lives in Puerto Rico, I
Okay.
think. And
So you are the only like of your, close family that is in America.
yes, some of them
So,
live in Florida as well, and then uh, other states, but most of them do live in Puerto Rico.
okay.
So
Do you ever
backward.
go and visit other family there, or
Yes. I think l- the summer before last, we went to Puerto Rico, and yeah, we did a lot of fun things there. I think we went zip lining,
oh, that's fun.
and yeah, it was very fun.
Do your little siblings like play video games too? Have you inspired them, or
Yeah, my brother plays a lot of Xbox, and my sister has just gotten a Nintendo Switch for Christmas. So she plays Pokemon and Mario and a bunch of different things on there.
oh, that's awesome. Do you feel like that you like inspire them just a little bit with the streaming?
Um, I think my brother's always been a gamer,
Mm-hmm.
but my sister definitely. She's definitely picked up on it from my brother and me.
That's awesome. So let's talk about I guess like gaming in your household. Like, do you have? Because obviously you're still in high school. I remember when I was in high school, I had to follow, whatever my parents were telling me. Just they were just there to help me. And I didn't game in high school, which I know a lot of my brothers gamed in high school, and sometimes my brothers would be playing till like 5 in the morning. My dad was like, "I'm gonna throw your Xbox out the window or your PlayStation out the window." So how do your parents feel that you stream on Twitch, and how do your parents feel that you gamed even before you started streaming?
Okay, my parents are very supportive of me and pretty much everything that I do. They're always telling me to do whatever makes me happy. So whenever I show them like, oh, we got like 200 subs or like we got like 1,000 followers, they're like always so excited for me, and it's just it feels good to know that there's people that support you and that, are there for you no matter what.
Mm-hmm. And I know like that's amazing, because I know some parents may not get the whole idea of gaming and streaming on Twitch, especially at a young age. I know it, like, especially being a female, it could be scary at times for your parents. I think I was 22, and obviously my mom was still like, is Twitch legal? Like, what is Twitch? She had no idea. I don't think she still knows. She doesn't get it, but she supports me now. But she was just like, I didn't like really know that you like liked video games that much, because I was at college for the past 4 years, and still I'm in college for my fifth year. So I picked up on video games when I was in college, which again I wish I started earlier. It's just, it's a humongous part of my life now.
Mhm.
And I look at it as though if you can start making money on video games in this day and age, which parents may not understand, it's almost like as if your kid's playing a sport. Like, that's why it's called esports for a reason. I understand it's not like as physically demanding as maybe a different sport, but sometimes if you're playing in tournaments that are overseas, you have to wake up at a certain hour of the day and get ready to stream, and it takes hours and hours. It's muscle memory to be able to play these games, and it also has game awareness, which I compare it to my soccer life. It's muscle memory, over and over, practicing every day, and having game awareness to be the best player that I could physically be. And so that's why I'm always interested in someone who's young like you, who are still in high school, living with your parents. Like, I'm living with my mom and my stepdad right now, because I'm on winter break in college, and I know that sometimes the other day my mom walked up and had no idea I was live, and just like walked past the camera and like scared the crap out of me, and I was like, Mom, I'm streaming, and she's like, I don't even know what that means. But it's really cool that your parents support you, because I remember I watched the YouTube video of Booga winning the World Cup. Like, I think like Fortnite YouTube posted it, and his parents were like extremely extremely supportive, and his dad is the one who got him into it.
Mhm.
Have you watched that video?
Yeah, I watched it. It's just like so cool to see, like, once he won, his parents were up on the stands cheering for him, and it
Mm-hmm.
was just so fun to
Yeah,
see.
so that's why I was like, someone like, because he was around, similar age, still in high school, that it's so cool that, parents support them. Because I know video games are like a hot topic with parents, because they always
Mhm.
think that their kids are distracted, and sometimes that may be the case. So, with that being said, I was talking about soccer and school, and how I learned throughout the years of managing school and soccer at the same time. Do you like have like a certain routine of where you manage streaming and gaming and school?
Not really. I should probably set a routine, but I kind of just keep doing the same thing over. I just, yeah, do school and then after get ready and stream at,
Well, I guess that is
yeah.
essentially your routine. You said like you'll get your work. Like, do you always get your work done before streaming, or sometimes if you have the time, you could do it after too?
Well, sometimes I slack off a little bit, not gonna lie.
Everyone does
And
though.
yeah, but yeah, that's most of the time I do my work on
Yeah,
time.
so
But
then you don't even have it on your mind, stress
mhm.
free. I know like schoolwork sometimes like stresses me out, especially in college. I have a little bit easier routine. Like, I don't have classes until night. So my thing now is I have to do my work in the morning, or else I'll stress out about it all day. But everybody's different. So like that's like my routine. I'll try to get all my homework done before practice, which is usually from like noon to 3 is my practice time slot. So I guess you do essentially, it's just your everyday routine. You might not have set that yourself, but that's pretty cool. You try to get your work done and then stream. Um, did you ever take a break from streaming, like maybe where school was too hard? Or have you been consistent as much as you could being a full time high school student?
um, I try to be consistent most of the time, but I think I remember the summer before last, I took like a couple months break because we were moving back to Florida from Louisiana. Um, and yeah, it's because my dad works in the Coast Guard, so we actually move every 4 years to a different spot. And yeah,
So, what are this wasn't one of my questions, but I'm thinking about this now. What are the, I guess, pros and cons of moving every 4 years? I mean, you get to see new places, but
um,
talk me through a little bit about that, because I didn't know that about you, which is pretty cool that you move. I know that could be hard, especially at an age where you're switching schools. So,
okay, so the first school it was in Florida, and that was whenever I first moved from Puerto Rico. Then after that, we switched to Louisiana, and I went all through the rest of elementary school to middle school, and then now we moved back to Florida, and I'm in high school. And some of the pros are that you do get to see new places, meet new people, but um, you also kind of lose touch with some friendships that you have made, and you have to pretty much start over in a sense because you don't have all those friendships already set, you don't like.
You didn't grow up with
Yeah.
them each
Yeah.
grade. Do you find like comfort in having moved from, because when you started Twitch you were in Louisiana, correct?
Mhm.
And then now, did you start high school in Florida, like freshman year you started, or did you
Yeah,
come in?
I did
Okay.
start high school and
So do you find comfort in having, I guess, Twitch? Because I always, and I think our communities are similar, like super positive and just like super welcoming. Did you feel that, you know, these friendship that you made on Twitch is like essentially what you lost in moving so much and losing those friendships? Do you feel like Twitch has definitely helped you seeing the same people even though you're moving, you have these people online all the time?
yeah, I think Twitch was definitely one of the things that I was looking forward to whenever we moved, because I did have all these friendships already like set, and it's not like I lost touch with them because there is Discord and I did talk to a lot of people through there. But what I realized with in real life friendships is that like or IRL is that you kind of lose touch because there's so many other people that they could like talk to, or like I don't know how to explain it,
Life
but
just happens sometimes,
yeah,
and
it's just different in real
yeah.
life. Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard because, having like, this is what I've realized, like growing up, I've been on different teams. I went from high school, I went to college, I just transferred colleges. So I've had all these groups, whether it's my teammates or which are friendships still, but also like my friends outside of sports. I have some of my best friends, like now I think I have like three best friends. And they all live in different parts of the country. Like some of them live in New York, some of them live in South Carolina. And I don't see them all the time, but my circle has gotten so small, and there's a reason for that. I mean, people grow and you move, and sometimes it's hard to keep that contact in real life, but on Twitch, and it's hard to, like, people sometimes don't understand Twitch. And I talked about this with Carly, where Carly said she hated the saying that, my Twitch friends are better than my IRL friends, but like Twitch is also real life. Like, these are real people on the other end of the computer. It's just a friendship that's online. And I may have looked at it as super weird before I got into this world. Like, Twitch is its own world, but now,
Mhm.
like, looking into it, if I were to ever meet these people like in real life, I would like be so down for it. It's just, people, it's easy to click a button and see each other and have a relationship, than to see somebody in real life. It costs money. You're in school. It's
Mhm.
hard. But they're real friendships, and I think you could say the same, that every viewer that you have is, not a viewer. It's more of a friend and a supporter. And so I think that's pretty cool that while you moved so much because your dad is in the Coast Guard, that you had these stable relationships. And obviously on Twitch, people come and go too, but you
Mhm.
have like your people who are your core group of people who are always there, um, which is amazing. Uh, what was your proudest moment on Twitch?
Okay, my proudest moment was definitely hitting 1K followers, and I do have a little story about like for that. Whenever we hit it, I decided to grab a little can of silly string and I tried to aim it at my webcam and I completely missed, and that was also probably a little bit embarrassing, but it
I was
was
there for that. I don't know if you know that.
yeah.
I was there for your
It was
1K.
so fun.
I
Yeah.
followed you. I think maybe it must have been, if it wasn't like 2 weeks, it must have been under 2 weeks. It was very recent. I remember like you were, I forgot what I think I found you at end of 700,
Mhm.
and you got to 1,000 like super quickly from when I followed you. And I remember like I like remember you with the silly string. I
Yeah.
remember you missing. I don't know if you knew I was there. This is like when I first like really started watching on Twitch, other people than Maddie. Um, and I found like girl gamers through like these people who host, which hosting is amazing on Twitch. If you don't know, guys, on your Twitch channel when you're offline, you can host other people, and if they're live, it will show up on your Twitch channel, so you can basically recommend other people because Twitch doesn't really recommend people. Now they have a discover page, but still, my discover page is like super high viewer counts on my discover page, so I never really look at it. Because I like smaller communities. Obviously now, like, I am a small Twitch streamer, and same with Sofy, and it's really cool to have this like community that you can actually read, chat, and communicate to. But everybody's goal is to grow, and watching you grow so far from 700 all the way up until almost 1.4K is insane, and it's pretty cool that I was there for 1K, because if that was your proudest moment, then I was there for that, and I'm glad that I found you at the time, because that is a big accomplishment, which is amazing. I mean, you think about when you started, you were worried about having 0 people, which you said was like, where you already were doubting yourself when you're first starting, not even giving yourself enough room to grow, because you look at other people, and it's impossible not to compare yourself sometimes. You look at other people who, like the big streamers, the famous, you're like, how do I do that? How did they do that? And there's no real right answer. Some people had, other people host them, and some people like knew other people, and sometimes they just grew from nothing. And everybody's journey is different, which is amazing about it. So it's pretty cool how you started so young, and you're only going to continue to grow. So I want to maybe ask you if you've ever had any hardships in your life where maybe you've grown from them and what you've learned from them now, and do you apply any of that to Twitch that you can think of off the top of your head? Maybe a hardship that really stuck with you.
Okay, I think the biggest hardship was just moving around from place to place. Especially this move was probably my hardest one because I had a lot of friends and I knew a lot of people, and yeah, I felt like I wasn't alone, I had all those friendships and I was ready to go into high school. So I moved to Florida and it was completely different. My first day of school, I was so nervous because I just didn't want to be by myself. Um, and I remember I was in my gym class, and I don't think I've said this story to a lot of people, but I remember sitting there and I was about to start tearing up because I didn't have anybody at all. So, um, yeah, I just was like having like anxiety over it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, Twitch definitely like helped me cope with that a little bit. Um, and it definitely helped me start to make new friendships because um after a while I started reaching out to more people in my class. I started to just talk to more people, get to know my teachers, get to know everybody, and now I've started to become better with my social um I don't know,
Life.
like the yeah, social
Yeah.
life. And yeah, um I just want to let anybody out there know that high school isn't as scary as it seems whenever you first go in, and just make the best of it.
Yeah, it's really dramatized in, like, movies
Mhm.
and shows. And I remember going into high school. I had grown up in the same town from where I was born. So I had the same people over and over again in every grade. So it was kind of just a seamless transition, and I never really looked into it, like, if someone was new, what they were going through. And I always, like, would think about it. If I ever saw someone sitting, I have this thing that if I see anybody sitting alone, I legit start crying. Like, I literally, if I see, like, if I'm at a restaurant and I see like an old man sitting by himself, or just anybody sitting alone, whether they wanted to be there alone, I just like get super upset and frantic for them, because I'm like, that's the worst feeling, is being alone, not feeling like you
Mhm.
have anybody. And I know that moving, like, when you moved, you were at the point where, like, sixth, seventh, eighth grade is where you really start developing friendships, where you start getting a phone, you start texting people, hanging out with
Mhm.
people. And it's not just like people who your mom was friends with in elementary school. So I know that could be definitely hard at that age, when your whole life is just changing. Like, high school is so different than anything else. And I mean, I could feel you when you said you were in your gym class. I felt like that even when I'm, like, in college. I've still felt alone when I couldn't play my senior year, and I lived with all of my teammates. And they would go to practice and come home and talk about practice, and talk about what the coach said, and talk about this and that, and the games coming up. And I would sit in my room and I'd be able to hear it, because I lived in a really shitty apartment with thin walls everywhere.
Mhm.
And I would remember, I just would sit there with my boyfriend Kevin, and I'd just be like crying. Like, I feel, because soccer was almost and I talked about this, like my identity, even though you're not your identity is whatever you make it. And I felt as though if I don't play soccer, everybody's going to like be like, oh, what happened to her? She fell off. Oh, she sucks now. She got cut, you know? And I remember I was thinking
Mhm.
all these crazy things and crying in my room like for a long time until I decided that I was going to transfer. I picked a school I wanted to visit. I knew the coach already from high school and got into video games. So I started playing Fortnite when I couldn't play my senior year. So I started playing last November, which was soccer season. And it was my escape. Like you said, streaming at night was your escape. And now I wanted to start streaming after months and months of watching like you, Rosie, Carly, Maddie were like the main people that I started watching, and I just didn't like know how to start. I didn't know any equipment. I didn't know if I needed to like I only had a Switch, and then I was trying to figure out how do you get your Switch game onto the computer. I started getting super interested in tech shit. And now I'm going to school for broadcasting, so I needed all this stuff, and that was basically like the moment where I wanted to start streaming because I needed this equipment for school, this thousands of dollars, and I was on a scholarship my all of college, so this was like my first big girl purchases that I was like, okay, school costs a lot of damn money besides
Mhm.
the tuition, and so I started researching everything, built my own PC, and now when I remember I needed one cord to have my camera be on the whole time for the stream, and I put it off for like 2 months. It was like a $9 cord from Amazon, and I just didn't buy it because I was like, once I get this, and if I don't start streaming, I'm gonna regret it. I bought it the next day, started streaming, and now it's like literally what I'm gonna look forward to every single day. I'm on winter break right now, so that's why I wanted to start streaming because I knew I could put out a lot of stuff and build the community. Hopefully, that was my goal. And so far, it's been amazing. And like I said, you inspired me so much. And it's crazy because people are like, I tell people like I remember I told Kevin I was like, yeah, Sophie's only 15. He was like, she's only 15, and I'm like, yeah, and she's already fucking killing it on Twitch. And people are like, feel weird when you're inspired by someone who's younger than you, which most of the streamers that like Maddie is like I think a couple months younger than me, but like you are a couple years old like younger than me. You could still be inspired by people who are younger.
Mhm.
Like people freaking build companies when they're like 12. Like the
Yeah.
CEOs like it's crazy. So like I said, even though I'm 22, I'm super inspired by you. I will always be because you were one of the reasons I started streaming and wanting to make this podcast. And for school, we had to make podcasts and stuff like that, like anything content creation wise, for broadcasting to show how you speak on a camera. And I felt as though I didn't want to do something cookie cutter like a news anchor, even though that's what I'm going to school for. So starting to stream on Twitch and inviting you guys on where we could just be super open and nothing's professional in the slightest is kind
Mhm.
of the turn I'm taking in my program, which nobody in the program's doing. Everybody's like, which is totally fine. I just, I never been cookie cutter. Like I'm very sarcastic and I just portray that when I talk. So that's what like Twitch has gained me confidence to be like, okay, I can take a different route where everybody's going the same way, and that's not what I want to do. Do you know like where are you with like college right now? Like, do you have any idea like a dream college? I know you're still young and you still have like two years, right?
Yeah, 2
Okay,
years.
yeah. So talk me a little through like what you have planned so far.
So I actually don't really have a lot of stuff planned. Um, I don't know what college I want to go to yet. I have started researching it a little bit lately, but not so much. I've never really been the type to kind of just plan everything ahead. I kind of just think about it for a while, and if the streaming thing does work out for me, then I would love to make this a career. If not, then I've also decided that I want to be a veterinarian. Um, which is like two completely different things, but yeah,
And that's totally fine.
mhm.
Like Twitch is its
It's
own world, so.
yeah, it's definitely just something that I need to think about more. And like if I don't even like know what to do for college because it's just such a like big talk. Like you're gonna be pretty much a grown up once you're 18. And it's just crazy to think about it because I see all these like TikTok videos just like add 10 years to your age and that's how old you'll be. And it's just like you'll be like I'll be 25 10 years from now. Like that's just crazy to me. I don't know.
Mhm.
Just growing up. I don't know.
Yeah, and let me just say like you have time. I just figured I didn't know if you had a dream college, maybe your parents went somewhere, but I remember you literally have so much time. Like, you don't even need to be thinking about it that much right now. But I started getting for women's soccer because girls obviously going through like puberty and stuff, they end earlier than boys, so they get recruited a little bit earlier. Guys can get recruited, like commit to a college when they're seniors in high school because they're still growing. So girls in for like collegiate athletics usually get recruited for soccer. It started for me in 8th grade. I was getting offers. And a bunch of my friends committed 8th grade. I was taking tests to figure out what high school I wanted to go to in my district while still looking at colleges that's 4.5 years
That's
away,
crazy.
which is insane. So I always said to myself, this is insane. I don't want to, and at the time, I was ranked in the top 10 players in the country, which those, if you're top 10 in the country, there's a website called Top Drawer Soccer is like the main third-party website where there's rankings and they rank every graduating class. So I was the graduating class of 2016, and at that point I was the third player in the country. The first 2 girls committed, the other 7 besides me already committed in 8th grade. I was the only top 10 player on the national team who wasn't committed. And I said to myself, I don't care. This is 4.5 years away, and it will be another 4 years of my life. I don't even know what college. How am I supposed to know in 8th grade what I wanted to do? I was a sophomore in college and still didn't know what I wanted to do. I still don't know. So I basically said, like, college will wait for me. If they really want me as a player, they'll wait. And that's what I did. And I waited and I waited, and I ended up committing summer of my sophomore year going into my junior year. And that is like unheard of late for someone who's playing competitively, like at the level I was playing, which so many girls do. So I'll just tell you, just take your time from my experience. And I know you're not doing anything with sports, but it's important. Take your time, go to colleges. Like if you're visiting another town and there's a college, drive through it, see it, And the thing is, you can get to a college and not like it, like I did. I went through 4 years, like felt I had to stay because I had a scholarship, and transferred for my 5th year, and it was the best thing I ever did. So you have so much time, which I figured I'd ask. I didn't know if you had a dream school. I had so many dream schools, and there goes my camera, and I didn't even look at them when the time came. So life changes so quickly.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot to think about what you want to do for the rest of your life. Or for like a good portion of your life. So I just want to think about it more because I want to make sure that it's something that I love to do. And like I said, if streaming does work out, that would be something that I would love to do for a career.
Yeah, and like I said, how you're moving on Twitch, and the fact that you're so young, you have all of like the benefits in your case where you are a good person, you have your head on your shoulders, you're a good kid, and the community on Twitch is so supportive, which viewers that you have that are so supportive and reaching out to other people even when you're offline will help you grow your channel, which people go on Twitch to grow. That's the whole thing. You want this community, and whatever you are is a reflection of your community. If you're like crazy and toxic, which if that's what you want to be, go ahead. Your community will it's voluntary to click on the stream. If that person doesn't like who they're watching, they click off. Same with me. If someone doesn't like me, they click off. So whatever you are is what your community resembles. So I think that in your case, having such an amazing community like you do, like I said, some of your viewers have so gratefully come from a raid from you, which if you guys don't know what a raid is, at the end of your stream, you could bring your viewers to another streamers, and they can say like, oh, it's a Sofy raid, like welcome, and they watch the stream for however long they can. And a lot of times raids don't really do much for streamers unless that person is a direct handoff of the other streamer. And I always talk about this. Unless that person plays these same exact games, has a similar personality, then a lot of the times you might get a couple followers from a raid that might stick around for the future. But in Sophie's case, we've had numerous people from your channel, which thank you so much for that, because they are amazing people, and if you guys are listening, you know exactly who you are. I appreciate all of your community and what you've done for me, and the fact that you're only 15, turning 16 very soon. Happy almost birthday, very exciting.
Thank you.
You are gonna do big things, and I believe that you will hit partner this year, and I will try to do as much as I can to help you out in the future with that. And I know I'm a small Twitch streamer too. I'm smaller than you. One of my goals is to hit 1K, because I remember I was in your channel and you hit 1K, and that is a distinct moment of like just when you were applying for the code, you were doing it on stream, waiting to
Yeah.
get applied, and then you I remember in your Discord you posted that you got the code and I was a day late and I was super pissed at myself, which is so exciting. If you guys don't know, when you hit 1,000 followers on any social media platform, you can apply for a creator code in Fortnite, which you can host custom games, which means the games aren't public. It's whoever has the code can join, which your viewers can play in a game, and it's super fun. And you can also get revenue from people using your creator code and using V-Bucks, which is Fortnite money, to buy skins and other things in Fortnite, which is another source of revenue, which is so cool that, like, you're probably sitting here like, I'm 15 and you're probably telling your friends like, yeah, I make money from Fortnite code. I would literally be scared of you. I think you were
I
so cool.
I actually don't tell a lot of my IRL friends that I even stream.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like too scared to. I don't know, like I don't know why, but it's just a lot of people just have like different opinions on it. So I just choose to keep it to myself because I'm happy that way. And I'm happy with what I'm doing. So just I don't know. It's
If they
just
find it, they find it. Just
yeah.
it's your life, you know. You don't live your life for other people. I know, especially in high school, people it's be so judgmental, and it's very hard to understand Twitch. And a lot of times, if people hate on it, it's just because they're just jealous.
Mhm.
That sense, I would think if I like knew you, if we were the same age and you were streaming on Twitch, I'd be like that bitch is cool. Like she's cool. Like I think that was the coolest thing in the world. So like you said, you talked about your goals in the future. So what I want to do is I always ask the streamers' viewers to come up with questions for that streamer so that maybe something that they don't get to know about that streamer and their whether it's about Twitch or their personal life. And let me just say, your viewers had the best questions so far in the 3 podcasts for you. They were very thoughtful and very interesting. Something that I couldn't come up with myself because a lot of times people ask the same questions that I would already ask you. So the fact that we had so many interesting questions, it's so cool. So, okay, let's just hit the nail on the head. This is what they wanted to know. You can only answer with one word. Who's your favorite moderator?
All.
They're gonna hate that. They're gonna hate that. They were
I
saying if you guys don't know what a mod is, they moderate your channel, so they have special actions to like ban people, or time out people for a little bit, or just basically control your channel to help the streamer out. And they wanted to know so bad who the favorite mod is, and I knew you were gonna
I
say something.
I can't pick a favorite. They're all doing an amazing job and they're all out there helping me like every single day. So I really can't pick a favorite because they're all amazing people, you know? It's
Yeah,
just
I agree.
impossible.
Oh, they're gonna fight over that. They're gonna have to make
Yeah.
their own answers for that. My next question is, and I asked it. It was actually one of Carly's viewers' questions that I brought into this because I really like it. I want to ask it in every podcast. What would be something your closest friends and family would be surprised to learn about you?
Um, I was thinking about this earlier. I was looking through the doc, but I couldn't think of anything because I'm pretty much an open book. I don't have anything to hide, so I don't know what to say
Maybe
for
you could say
that.
that your friends would be surprised to learn you stream on Twitch.
Yeah,
Maybe that could
probably.
be something because you
Yeah.
said that I don't tell in real life people if they see it like me tweet about it or something, then if they want to come and stop by. But I'm just like, listen, I'll see you in real life. Like, don't come watch me on Twitch. It makes me nervous. Um, okay, this is one of the questions that I all the next ones are the ones that I'm really interested in. Who's your favorite person to play with competitively? And then the second part, another person who you like to play with non-competitively. It could be the same person, but I wanted to see if it was different.
Okay, my favorite person to play with competitively is obviously Devin because he's my duo. I know he doesn't like me to call him Devin, but I'm gonna do it anyways because I know he's gonna be watching. Um, and my favorite person to play with non-competitively is probably still him because we just hang out a lot and it's just always fun to play with him because he has like a positive energy and he's always like I guess hyping me up or something, you know? But like he's just super sweet. So,
And you guys don't know each other in real life?
no, we don't know each other in real life. I think we met last summer.
Okay. Awesome. Um who's your favorite Fortnite pro if you have one?
Okay. I don't know if Nick A30 is really a Fortnite pro, but I do enjoy watching his streams. He's always so positive encouraging, and he just grew an amazing community that is just a happy place.
And like
And
we said earlier, your whatever the streamer is, usually that's how their community is
mhm,
shown through however the Twitch streamer portrays himself. So I will say that he is one of the only big streamers that I do watch,
mhm.
because it almost feels like he's literally a friend, which is amazing.
Yeah,
Um,
a lot of other streamers that you see that are pro players, they don't really interact with their stream at all, and they tend to be more toxic and just not very positive. Uh, And also, they just, I don't know.
yeah,
They
sometimes the
it's
pro players focus more on the gameplay,
mhm,
and that's it is a stereotype that but that's kind of the case that I found myself in a lot of times, which makes me have this stigma that sometimes the streamers that like whether they're talking shit to the other team, I'm just like just play, you know what I
mhm.
mean? So to have someone who's so big and so positive at the same time, literally has no ego is I can also agree he is one of my favorite streamers. Was there a I took this question. The question is favorite streamer with a small community, but I also want to put my twist on it. Was there like I said for you, you were one of my inspirations on Twitch. Was there another smaller community? I know you said Maddie and F, but besides her, that inspired you to stream on Twitch and maybe is your favorite um community that is on the smaller side.
I do love watching your streams, Nikki.
Oh, thank
Um,
you.
your like community is so positive, and it's just so fun to watch because you like, I don't know how to say it, but like you just so like positive, and you like bring people up, and it's just a great community to be in. And yeah,
I
I know that I didn't
appreciate
really
that.
watch you whenever I started streaming, but you still like inspire me right now to keep on streaming.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That is so kind. And I think I could say the same about you. Like I said, if I'm not streaming, the first community and I know you always see me, whether I can only like last night I couldn't stop in for too long, but I was like, oh my god, Sophie's live, and I was like messaging you, and I was like, I have to go, and I just wanted to say hi because I hate missing any stream. I try to I've only missed like 3 or 4 since you started streaming, but usually I'm in there whether it's for a second, because I hate to miss out because you are one of my favorite small Twitch streamers. If I had to choose a couple people, like if I have a whole list of people who are up there, you're most likely going to be the first person. Um, so now, like you said, my last Twitch question. You said that you want to hit partner, which I know that you will this year. I believe in you. Do you have a dream org that you want to be in?
Um, okay, so I've thought about this for a while, but I do want to try to join Complexity. I know that that is an org that a couple of the streamers that I watch are in, and they're all super positive. I like what they're doing with the organization. I like the message. Sorry, my dog is
No, it's
barking.
totally okay.
And yeah. Oh my gosh.
That is too funny. Then it's like
But
well, all those streamers who have like their own house and their own rooms, and then it's just like
yeah.
us with my mom walking in the background, your dog's barking. No, totally don't worry about it. Nobody
Yeah.
cares.
And my
But
bird's chirping as well.
is it in your room or outside?
No, they're like outside.
Oh, cute. I didn't hear the birds. I only heard the dog. But yeah, complexity. Who else do you watch in complexity?
I watch Maddie, I watch Electra sometimes, and Punisher.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the three main people that I watch.
Yeah, I just recently found Upshaw through Maddie
Oh, yeah.
in Complexity, and I also like Complexity the fact that they're very small,
Mm-hmm.
which or in a case other compared to other organizations. I'm not saying bigger organizations is like totally fine, but I do like. I compare this to like my college experience. I went from a huge state university that had 350 kids in a lecture hall in a class to now I'm in a master's program with 5 kids in a class, and I wish that I would have went to a smaller school. That I love the big school, but class wise, I
Mm-hmm.
wish I had smaller classes because it's very more focused on you and your growth, and I could feel the same way about an org and in your gameplay and your growth on Twitch. That if complexity had ever messaged me, I think I would literally throw up from excitement. So I'm hoping that you achieve those dreams. I hope that Complexity, if you're listening, which you're probably not, but call her. Like, you watch her stream once, you'll know. But that is awesome, and I'm assuming that you were inspired by Maddie because she is in Complexity, and she's doing amazing. Which, as always, by the way, she says that she watches these podcasts, which I almost threw up again. So maybe you guys can link up. I know you've played with her. How many times have you played with her? Just once?
Um, a couple times,
Couple
like for
times?
playing with your streams, yeah.
Yeah, which is amazing because she also played with you competitively in a tournament one time, which just shows your abilities and the room for opportunity for you, because not only are you having someone who's amazing at Fortnite, maybe doesn't play competitively as much as she wants to because she's more on the content creation side too, but is so amazing at the game, and the fact that she would want to play with you just shows the caliber of your gameplay, which is very hard to do. I know that is one of my goals too, besides the whole Twitch thing and besides the community and the viewers and stuff like that you've inspired me with, is also my gameplay. I definitely want to get better on mouse and keyboard, and even though I might not ever play competitively, it just I have a passion to improve my gameplay, and whether it's just by a little bit at some point, that's just that's positive to me. So you definitely inspire me that way. And my last question to wrap this up would be, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Um, I think the advice that I would give would be to stop worrying about what other people think, because that is something that I still struggle with to this day, because I am like, okay, so I don't really like struggle with it a lot, but like it's like my self-image, and I just struggle with what people think about me, and I'll always be thinking about that, like in the back of my mind. Um like, what are they saying behind my back? Like, what's going on? Like, it's just something that I need to work on myself, and something that I wish I would have done a long time ago.
Yeah, and I mean, I think I can agree. I still do it to this day. I feel like it's just inevitable for anybody at any point in life. Whether you're in a job or you're on a team and you're just like, what did the coach think I did this today? What does my boss, think about me and how I work? It's just, comparison is sometimes the root of all evil when it comes to self-image and confidence. But I just want to say that you are an amazing person. And I know that at the start of this year, it's a perfect time to say this, but a lot of amazing things will come your way. Um, that's the reason that I wanted you on this podcast as one of my first few guests in the Twitch series, because you're so young, yet you're so mature, and you're so intelligent, and the way that you handle yourself and your Twitch channel is just amazing. And I believe that you will have a partner, and I'm gonna hope every single day that happens. And like I said, whether it doesn't happen this year, I know that it's in your path, because you can even get average of 75 viewers and apply and get denied, which I didn't know that until a couple days ago, which is crazy. But your Twitch is going to grow to bigger and better things, and I know that your community wants the best for you. My community wants the best for you. I know that I'm like, listen guys, if you want to go watch better gameplay than me, like, go to Sofy's right now. You can have my voice on, but watch her gameplay. Or if I'm not live, I'm hosting you. I'm hoping that when you're live, people can watch you. And I always say that the second that Sofy raised me, I'm like, listen, guys, if you're here for gameplay, but maybe one day, I'm going to work. It'll be good. But I just want you at the end to just plug all your socials, whatever socials you want people to find you on. And I will put them on the screen, but you could just tell everybody what, social media platforms you have and where to find you.
Um, my my socials are all different. One of them, for Twitch, it's Sofyann. For Twitter, it's the Sofyann, and for Instagram, it's Sofy with two Z's and two Y's, because Sofyann was taken on both Twitter and Instagram, so I apologize for that.
It stinks sometimes.
Yeah.
The
I
fraud's
tried to
taking it.
Yeah, I tried to get Sofyann on Twitter, but this lady had it, and she hasn't been active for like 5 years, I think. It's
It's
I
so
don't know.
sad. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'll put them up on the screen, and obviously if you guys watch, that they'll be down below in the description box with links directly to your social media. So I just want to thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for inviting me.
No, thank you for coming on. Seriously, like I said, I say this enough, but you're very inspiring to people who are younger than you and older than you, and especially people who want to do Twitch. Go check out her channel. Watch how she plays. And just enjoy the time. I would definitely recommend you go stop by her community. If you're from the podcast, say you're from the podcast. That would be awesome. And yeah, stick around next week. I'll be posting episode 4 of my last episode on my Twitch series so far before I start getting into talking about athletics and NCAA and soccer and all of that. So I'm so grateful that you were on for this first series, and I wish you nothing but the best in the future. I know you're going to do big things.
Thank you.
No problem. And all right, guys, I will see you next week. Bye.